Detecting toggle of the day, April the 9th, 2024, about 2:31 p.m. It's not ultra hot out here. The mighty Deus too. You know, you could go into a site with this machine and you might say, oh, I've cleaned it out. You know, me and Calabash, you know, we talked on the phone about these 7, 8, and 9 reading signals. You know, you could dig a piss pot full of them with this machine and have a piss pot full of iron with few non-ferrous targets to show for it. Now, this has not been shown with this detector before, even by me. It's sort of related to some things I've showed. Has to do with the multi-frequency. We're just going to look at sensitive FT. Alright, I may actually put it in fast program in this video just to show you when this machine first came out with version 0.6 and 0.71. I mean, that's sort of what this fast program is in this version 2.0.0 I'm holding. Okay? Matter of fact, I think that's where I'll start in this video. 6.8 disc in the fast, 90 sensitivity, reactivity 2.5. And we're just going to leave it in 2.5. When this machine is shown in sensitive FT, it will be in 2.5. When this machine is shown in Deus Mono, got a bad sun angle out here, boys. It will be in 2.5. So we'll just go to fast program first. We'll look at it because I haven't checked this part of the fast program, unlike the sensitive FT. Now, fast program, we're going to turn the silencer to 0. Now, it is pitch tones with the default pitch set, okay? Now, I don't think I've got the ID blowed up on this, but that'll be all right. Now that is a elevated nail, a 2x4 thickness above that nickel, okay? So anywhere around 5-6 inches, even with a silencer of 0 with no notch, I get a 0.8, 0.7 in that meter. Okay? Now that's how the machine came out. 0.6, 0.71. That's what you would hear on something like that in the wild. See that? 8 in a meter. Alright, now if I remove that nickel, we'll hear iron tone. Okay? But you see the ID you get in that meter. Now before we get out of the fast program, let's try this. Let's shift this thing over to frequency 6. What happens here? Okay. Excuse me, no change. Alright, so we're getting out of fast program. You can clearly see there, if you're not going to dig all the 7, 8, and 9 signal, and you come over that, headed sort of that direction, sweeping, and didn't dig it, didn't rotate on it, you wouldn't dig it, okay? So now we're over here in sensitive FT. Now, I'm going to put it, I'll leave it in full tones. No notch, silencer's at 1, offset's at 5. 2.5 reactivity. What I'm going to go down here and do, move the frequency shift to 0 intentionally. Alright, what happens here? ID is blowed up big. You see that? 7. I'm going to hover. Every now and then an 83 comes in on a hover and it switches back and forth. On a sweep, a 7. Alright, now watch this. Changing frequency max to number 6. That's all I did. Watch what happens here. You see that meter? Every time I come across that thing, it's 83. You see that? Back in here, we're going to go to frequency shift 1 this time. What happens? 7. You see that? Every now and then an 83, but most of the time, if you swung back and forth over that 4 or 5 times, you might see only a 7 and you might walk. Frequency shift 2. What happens? Okay, now we're seeing more 83 in that window. See that? Okay. Now we're going to go back in here. We're going back to 0. Frequency shift 0. You see that? 7. Control sweeps, the number 7. Going over to channel, we'll just go to channel 5. You see that meter? Every sweep of that baby, I'm getting an 83 in the meter. Okay? Now, while I've got this camera running, and you can actually, believe it or not, watch this. We're going to change the silencer to 2. Alright? You can use this machine like that. Frequency max. I'm going to put it in channel, frequency shift channel 6. Now this silencer 2. Okay, so I don't get anything. Alright? And I'll just go to 0. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to show you in this video. If I shift that nickel just a little bit, silencer 2 will yield that 82, 83 signal in this machine. And it will do so more at the higher channels, 5 and 6, versus 0 and 1 and 2. Okay? So let's go in here, since I've got the camera running. We're going to let the silencer all the way to 0. Frequency max at channel 0. What happens now? I've got that 7 back in that meter for all practical purposes. You see that? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it over to 6. Silencer 0. Look at there. See that 83 in the window? Now let's go back to silencer 1. Frequency max 0. You see that? 7. You get to hear how it sounds, okay? Frequency max 6. You get to hear how it sounds. There ain't an ounce of difference in the sound on that machine to me, but you know, maybe you all got better ears than I do, but there's a difference in the meter. Frequency shift 1. You see that 7 in that meter? Oh, I know what I wanted to show you, okay? So now let's go back here to channel 0. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to hover that nickel. You see that meter? Locked up on 7, right? Now I'm going over here to channel 6, and I'm going to hover this nickel. You see what happens? It transitions back and forth between 7 and 82, 83. What does this mean exactly? Well, you get the, when you do an auto scan on this machine, I'll do an auto scan. Now there's light wires out here, a few different things, a few jets flying around. I just mashed the auto scan feature. Now I don't know what channel it went to, but I can go look. Oh, it's in channel 1. Look at there, channel damn 1. You know what that means, right? So I'm going to walk back over here. All right. This is real live shit here, boys. No fluff, okay? All right, we're going to open this screen up. You see that? So if that existed out here in the damn wild right here where I'm standing, and I would have noise canceled this machine at a 1, and I wouldn't dig a 7, 8, 9 signal, I'd just pass that, wouldn't I? If I wouldn't investigate no signals, I would pass it. To conclude the video, I hope you have a nice day.